Hello everybody, how's it going? And welcome to the Just Chatting Gaming News and Trailers for April 25th. We've got basically one news story, and then we've got a handful of trailers. Technically, there's like 3 news stories, but it's one of those deals where they dropped the news and the trailer at the same time, so we're just gonna watch the trailers. So the first news story of the day is PlayStation announced today that they are adding variable refresh rate support for PS5, and it is in fact rolling out this week. Here are some of the games that are going to support this by default. Astro's Playroom, Call of Duty Vanguard, Black Ops Cold War, Deathloop, Destiny, DMC5, Dirt, Godfall, The Spider-Mans, Ratchet & Clank, Resident Evil Village, Tiny Tina, Tribes of Midgard, and Rainbow Six Siege. Basically, what this is going to do is it's just adding more and better visual options for these games. So it's pretty cool that they're actually doing this. And you can see here, there's some screenshots of them kind of showing off like how it works and how to get into it. You got to switch it over to the VRR automatic mode. And a lot of these PS5 games, or even some of the PS4 games, you kind of had 2 options where you would have like performance mode, or sometimes they would throw in either ray tracing or not ray tracing, and it would all be like 30 FPS versus 60 FPS, and you know, graphic qualities and that sort of stuff. So this is just kind of another notch into what they're doing. So good for them, and I'm assuming Xbox will either already have something like this or will be adding it, because you know, the 2 machines are just gonna essentially do the same thing. So that's pretty cool on their end. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the first 2 trailers we're gonna watch are 2 of the other like big news stories of the day. The first one in particular got a lot of chatter on social media today, and I am of course talking about Diablo Immortal. And I hope all of you guys have phones, or you know what? Maybe you don't need phones anymore. Let's check it out.
Hello everyone, this is Wyatt Chang, Game Director of Diablo Immortal. Thank you all for tuning in to our YouTube premiere today. I have some very exciting news that I can't wait to share with you. To everyone who has been eagerly anticipating the release of Diablo Immortal, you won't have to wait much longer. So without further ado, check it out.
June 2nd is the release date. But wait, there's more, as they say. It may be built for mobile, but it's coming to PC. And full crossplay, full cross progression. So we're actually getting a new Diablo on PC this year. I'm very curious as to how it's going to run, and how it's going to look, and how it's going to play. It's also free to play. So I wonder how they're going to monetize this thing.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Wyatt here again, and I'm joined now by Adam Fletcher, also known as Pez Radar. He's our community lead for all things Diablo. How's it going, Adam?
Doing great, Wyatt. I'm pretty excited for all the great announcements that we had today for Diablo Immortal. Diablo Immortal coming to PC along with mobile is huge, and I know the community is going to have a ton of different questions to ask related to this, and I think the biggest one will be, why PC? Why are we bringing Diablo Immortal to PC?
It's always been our goal with Diablo Immortal to make a Diablo game a AAA experience that could reach as many players as possible. And we knew that by building it for mobile, that would be the best way to do that. Diablo Immortal is not only our first game built from the ground up for mobile, it's also our biggest and most ambitious Diablo game to date. It's going to have rich social systems. It has deep progression systems that allow players to continually play the game, customize their character, and make their character more powerful over time. As we started to explore how we're going to reach new players and bring new players into the Blizzard family, we knew if our goal is to truly reach as many players as possible, we should be on PC as well. By being on both mobile and
because
PC,
the community yelled
we
at
know
us,
that everybody will be able to enjoy Diablo Immortal, whether or not you have a phone.
Sounds amazing, Wyatt. I think I'm pretty excited for Diablo Immortal along with a lot of other people. I think the next big question that the community has to ask is, when can they get their hands on Diablo Immortal?
Of course, the eternal when's it coming out? Well, the team's been hard at work, and we're really excited to be able to announce today that we are launching on June 2nd, and later that month in select Asia-Pacific regions.
That's awesome to hear. June is right around the corner. I know
June
people are
2nd
really
is a
excited for the
Thursday, by
date.
the way.
I think people are also really excited to hear a little bit more about how the game plays on PC, especially if they've been following the development of the mobile version over the past
wanna
few
know.
years.
It plays great on PC. And another thing I'm really happy to be able to share is that you have full cross-play and cross-progression. That means you could be playing on PC, and your friends that you're in a party with, they could be on mobile or PC on the platform of their choice. And then, it's super cool to be at home playing on your PC, and then suddenly you realize you need to head out the door. So you just log out, grab your phone, log yourself in, you're right where you left off from, and you can take the game with you on the go.
That's awesome to hear that I can take Diablo Immortal on the go or play from the comfort of my own home. I think people will be really excited.
I mean,
about
on
that.
mobile, it's
I know
going to be
that
massive.
Diablo Immortal is coming from
Even
mobile
though it got a lot
and
of
uses
hate.
touchscreen controls. Can you explain
That's
to us
just the
like, how
hardcore
the
PC
controls will work on
people
PC?
hating on it. But
Yeah,
it's going to be
absolutely.
massive.
During our last closed beta, we added controller support for mobile, and players really responded positively, telling us that they loved being able to connect a controller to their phone to play Diablo Immortal. Well, we're adding controller support to the PC version of the game as well, so those controls will feel identical. But not everyone wants to play with a controller, so we'll be adding mouse and keyboard support as well.
I would hope
That's
so.
great to hear. I've personally always enjoyed playing all my Diablo games using mouse and keyboard, so it's great to hear that it's coming to Immortal. How is that experience on Diablo Immortal?
In Diablo Immortal, you can use your basic primary attack as well as movement using the mouse buttons, as players will probably be familiar, using the left and right mouse buttons, and activate your abilities. By default, they're bound to 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the keyboard with a potion on cue. And for
Well,
the
we got to
first
change
time
that.
ever in a Diablo game, we're also going to support moving using WASD. I really enjoy playing that way. Since Diablo Immortal, if you come from the touchscreen controls, allowed movement and aiming, it's nice to be able to move around with WASD while aiming a skill using the mouse. Feels super natural.
That's amazing to hear. We're getting WASD controls in Diablo. I think people are also going to ask, how does the game look on PC?
It looks gorgeous. The thing about our phones these days
It looks
is our
okay.
phones actually have very high resolutions. The pixel density on your phone is very
Does
high.
it look better
So
or
we
worse
can
than
still
Diablo
run
3?
at
That's
a
the
great
question.
resolution on PC, and the game just looks absolutely gorgeous.
So as you mentioned earlier, Diablo Immortal is the biggest Diablo game to date. What can players expect from this title?
Well, whether players choose to play on either mobile or PC, they'll be getting the latest in the Diablo franchise. Now, Diablo Immortal is a huge game. We've got 6 character classes, including some iconic favorites like the Barbarian, the Wizard, the Necromancer.
I think they've said
And
that
there's
it
gonna be
takes
a
place
whole
story-wise
main quest
between
storyline
2 and
for
3.
players to play their way through. This main quest storyline is going to explore 8 different zones throughout Sanctuary. And as you go through, the timeline is set in between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. Players are
Okay.
going to meet up with
I'm
Deckard
getting ahead of the
Cain
video.
and try to
I
locate
know too
the
much.
fragments of the World Stone. Now, if players remember, at the end of Diablo 2, Tyrael had just shattered the corrupted World Stone, and those fragments were scattered all over Sanctuary. And so this is the player's opportunity to assist Deckard Cain in finding those
Stay a
World
while
Stone
and
fragments
listen.
and destroying them.
So Diablo fans have always loved the loot aspect within the games. What can players expect for Diablo Immortal when it comes to loot?
Well, Diablo Immortal definitely has the familiar monster slaying action that players are familiar with. And when you kill those monsters, you want to see that loot pop out. And players will be able to grab that loot and use it to customize their characters. We've got legendary items that really change up your skills, as well as set items that confer additional bonuses to how your character plays. Now, during closed beta, we did get some feedback on our items as well as the general gameplay, and we have even more improvements planned, and we'll have more details to reveal about that as we get closer to launch.
I'm super stoked to hear about all the news coming for Diablo Immortal and the release date. Did you have any final closing thoughts for the community here today?
Well, it's a very exciting time. I'm very happy to be able to announce our launch date on June 2nd. And on behalf of the entire team, I want to thank everyone who's been supporting and showing their enthusiasm for Diablo Immortal. We can't wait to get the game into your hands. Now, our street date is June 2nd, but if you haven't yet already, just a reminder that you can pre-register for the game. It's going to be out on both iOS and Android, and of course now, PC.
Thanks again, Wyatt, for all the information, and thanks to everyone for tuning in today. For more information on Diablo Immortal, make sure to follow us on social media and to check out DiabloImmortal.com. We'll see you in West March.
All right. Cool. We need to know how they're going to monetize it. I'm assuming they're just going to do a ton of cosmetics. Like, they throw a pair of angel wings on their store for $10 and they're going to make like $20 billion. So, yeah, that game looks good. I want to see it. I want to know more about it. I mean, if it's free to play, then there's no reason not to just give it a try. So, that looks good. Looks really, really good. Next trailer is the second news story. And this is a series that I have never played, but I know it's fairly big in Nintendo land, and this game just got a release date as well, so let's check it out. Are you a kid or a squid? Does anybody know, are these games $60? I mean, I think they'd be fun to play, but I don't know if I can justify $60 for an arena shooter. Or arena painter, whatever. Oh, that guy's dead. I don't think it has any kind of story mode. I'm pretty sure it's all just PvP. Anybody in chat ever played any of the Splatoons? I guess I should say, for those who don't know, this game does play a little bit different than other shooters that are like this. Oh, it's like, oh, you're in an arena and you're trying to kill each other. You can do that in this, as we've already seen, but the big mechanic is actually painting. The team that wins is the team that has the most color down. So it's like you have the kill shooter mechanics built in with this paint mechanic. And then you can also swim in your color. So that also gives you an advantage. When you're in squid mode, I don't know if you can actually be attacked. When you're like under the water, so to speak. That brush ability he's got, that puts down a lot of pain. So Fortnite for paint? Yeah, kinda. Well, I mean, it's not a battle royale, though. More like a team deathmatch from like Call of Duty. I'm gonna say yellow team. That's cool. Yep, yellow one. Okay. So there you go. 9/9/22 was the release date for Splatoon 3. There we go. Cool stuff. All right, next trailer. We're actually going to get into a bunch of stuff that I don't know anything about. Also, as you may or may not know, PAX East was this past weekend, and so there's actually been some new trailers released from PAX East. This game is called Potionomics, if I'm saying that correctly. Let's take a look. Oh, wait a minute. I've seen this game. I think this was at a Nintendo Direct like a year ago. Completely forgot this was even a thing. But yeah, you own like a potion shop, essentially, and then you're like having to craft and do like a little bit of like adventuring and combat to get your stuff, and yeah, it's like dialogue. Man, I wish it was fully voiced. Looks like it's not voiced at all. Like the art style. It's very, very anime. Could be really good. Oh, no date? That's a shame. Oh, it's on Steam, too. Not just on...
If you want to eat healthy and feel your best,
No, I don't want to eat healthy. That's boring. All right, next up we have... And again, this name seems very familiar to me. But this is an announcement trailer. The name of the game is Sons of Valhalla. I mean, honestly, there's so many Viking games coming out. It could be that I'm just mixing it with something else, but it sounds familiar.
Love, the strongest feeling of all.
Have I seen this?
But what would happen
I mean,
if someone tried to take this feeling away from you?
I don't think so.
What would you do for the one you love the most?
So it's a side-scrolling pixel art adventure game? Kind of different. Wishlist now. Kind of a cool little game. All right, next up we have a trailer. This is the launch trailer for a game called Rogue Book. This is a JRPG. Or a card-based JRPG? Kind of reminds me of Monster Train meets Slay the Spire. A lot of cards. I like the hex-based overworld map. That's pretty cool. So that's actually out now. I wonder how much that runs. Oh, right. And this is the final trailer of the day. It's a short trailer, only a minute long. And this is a course reveal for 2 Point Campus, a game that I'm very much looking forward to. Let's take a look. Wizard time.
What's that behind your ear? Hey presto, it's the Wizardry course. Don't worry though, there's nothing out of the extraordinary here. It's all perfectly paranormal. Wizardry is for the sleight of hand and the big of hat. It's supernaturally proven to make you 6% more enchanting. Are there cauldrons in your future? Are you able to see the future? Enroll today and find out the hard way. But remember, wizardry can't solve all your problems. It's not magic after all. Oh, it is? Right you are then.
I wonder how many courses that game is going to have. So that game got pushed back to August 9th. It was supposed to come out in a couple weeks, I think. Sega. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. For those who are watching on YouTube, that's it. That's all the videos. That's all the news. So thank you all so much for watching. And we'll see you guys next time.